As someone who creates to express himself, I find myself reflecting into what causes me to want to create. I have produced several arrangements of original music since the beginning of my career. In some way or another, I've created kind of an audible archive of the many experiences in my life. My song reflects on many topics relating to many different emotions we as humans encounter, but specifically about my experiences. Upon listening to my music, I can immerse myself into the reconstruction of the memory I can remember, but I do not see. I often wonder to myself, why do I archive in this way? Why do I remember through the use of sound, specifically music, when one can assume most people visualize memory and image? When I think too much about it, it feels somewhat odd to me to archive my memories through sound. I ask you to think back to a time when you have been heartbroken. I'm sure you can picture in your mind how that person looked or what happened during the time. Your mind reconstructed that memory by piecing the different emotions together to form a picture in your mind. This works for me, except I build them physically through sound. I have been deeply inspired by what Chris Marker calls the zone in his film Sans Soleil. He fed videos of his own memories into a video synthesizer, which transported it into a place where space and time ceased to exist. Humanistic features are stripped, leaving a dreamlike construction of the memory, which leaves it down to interpretation and discussion. Remembering in this way is interesting because oneself can reflect upon the reconstructed memories fed into the zone in order to reflect back upon one's experiences. Recently, I have been spending some time in the zone where I have been reflecting upon my own experiences with love, relationships, and impermanence. I'm going to play a selection of my own original music, which I have fed into the zone, which reconstructed the audible into a visual representation. I invented the zone to work in favor of the audible in order to create a visual. I created these tracks during April 2020 when I was under isolation. It was probably the longest time I went without seeing a single person. Nothing particularly exciting happened to me during this time, other than a random furry visitor we refer to as Peanut, who regularly visited the house throughout the month. This is Peanut. She somewhat kept me sane during this claustrophobic time. I created 3 tracks where I interpreted her personality and her different moods. I wondered to myself why I created these tracks to remember this unusual scenario. I thought about the idea of the sentimental attachment one can feel to something when they have nothing, which in this case was the frequent visit from Peanut, and maybe it's the emotions I felt from this cat which makes me want to remember. Now sitting in my office chair at home, having finished constructing this memory, I'm reflecting upon this time I've spent with Peanut, and the concept of impermanence crossed my mind. Everything in life, such as life itself, comes and goes. For example, how Peanut came and went, and how she now is no longer with me. Impermanence appears to be a big influence on my music. I use sound to reconstruct and remember times of emotion for the purposes of never forgetting. But I know I also do it to have something I can cling on to remember those times that I may not have wanted to pass, but inevitably will and continue to do so. I feel a sense of contentment with having something to reminisce over through accepting impermanence. By allowing things to flow in and out of my life, I have given myself the ability to remember and reflect on what I feel necessary, be it sad, happy, or other juxtaposable emotions. Music to me appears to hold more of a meaning than just being an arrangement of notes, chords, and instruments, and that I have a deeper relationship with sound than I thought. I have reinvented the zone as a platform where I can open myself up and reflect upon personal experiences in order to grow and understand my actions.